Hey guys, Rob here with Hammered Halo Projects, and today is demo day. In this video, we'll take you along on a tear out of a 5-foot custom shower and how to get it prepped for a new soaker tub and tile surround. As a remodeler, many of my clients ask if they can save some costs by doing the demolition themselves. And in some cases, they absolutely can. Hopefully by the end of this video, you'll be able to make an informed decision regarding that question.
It started off great. Glass doors and the frame came out without any issues. The shower control trim and shower head also no issues. By the way, we will be relocating and reusing these same controls. I always carry one of these plastic stoppers to screw into the shower head location just in case the control valve gets bumped and turned on accidentally during the demo process. I'm not sure where you can get these stoppers from. I most likely stole mine from a plumber years ago. So if you know a plumber, just kidding, go buy one. They're probably only a couple bucks. It wasn't until we started to remove the walls where things went sideways. Typically, I like to use a reciprocating saw to cut through the drywall at the edges of the outside tile like I'm doing here. Then cut the line between the ceiling and the wall. One important thing to note, if you're going to attempt a demo this way, make sure to use a short sawzall blade and do your best to control the saw so that the blade just barely cuts through the drywall. The last thing you want is to accidentally cut through a wire or a water line. Lastly, I like to cut through the drywall and grout lines to remove sections of a wall at a time. This is when I realized it wasn't drywall. It wasn't aqua board. It wasn't even dent shield, but actual concrete board, which if you don't know is freaking almost impossible to cut with a sawzall blade. Well, on to plan B. Break all the tile off first, then remove the concrete board. A demo that I estimated at 6 hours instantly turned into 14 hours of hard rock labor. Some you win, some you lose. And as some of my old bosses would say, you won't make that mistake again. But honestly, I probably will. I've made it several times, and I'll probably make it again. Now, as bleak as this was looking, there was a couple positives. One, whoever installed this tile used a pre-mixed mastic adhesive instead of thin set, which was the wrong setting material to use. However, by doing so, made the tile easy to fall off after a couple hits with the hammer. And the second positive is the fact that there were two of us on this project, which kept the swing of the hammer going without missing a beat.
You never know what you're getting into when you're doing this kind of stuff. We got one wall done. Now we'll pull that Durarock off. If it was just drywall behind here, we would have been able to cut through and take it out in chunks with the tile, but in this case, we have to do it this way.
Here, I'm hammering a horizontal line through the concrete board, basically to create a slot I can grab onto to try to pull off the board. The two top sections came off relatively easy, however, that was short-lived. The rest of the wall was as painful as I expected. The concrete board was installed using deck screws, which do have a ton of holding strength, something like 80 to 100 pounds per screw. Remember, you wanted to do it to save some money, so just grit your teeth and break it off piece by piece by piece.
See, a water line on the back side of the shower. That's why we creep into the wall with our small Sawzall blades, just for this exact reason. This is a pipe you wouldn't expect to be here. This is the outside hose bib, and you can see they did a dry pack system. I can tell now the base is a dry pack because we've got the rubber liner coming up. Time for a sandwich.
Alright, so we're just breaking for a bite to eat, and I have to share how peaceful it is up here in the mountains. No neighbors around wanting to borrow tools, no sirens, no horns, just the sound of water and birds. Everyone needs to experience life like this. Well, it was peaceful. Okay, that was pretty cool. Excitement's over, let's get back to the demo. Same process on this wall, doing what you can to break away the concrete board using your hammer and a pry bar. I should back up a little bit. One important step that I should have mentioned early on is to shut off the water if at all possible. Showers don't usually have dedicated shut-off valves, so shutting the main line off to the house is what you may have to do. We were not able to shut off the water supply on this project due to other occupants in the house, so being extra careful around the control wall will save you a headache you do not want. Trust me on that one. So this is one thing we find a lot of. Excess scraps of drywall being shoved in the wall and then finished up into the wall. For whatever reason, drywallers maybe don't want to take the scraps away, and they just love to leave it for the next guy. I can't honestly count the number of times we've opened up walls and found this to be the case. I'm sure all drywallers are not like this, but this particular crew was. It is what it is. Should have to take away your crap. Even though it's only 4 or 5 pieces of junk, it's nothing. But if it's nothing, take it away yourself when you do the house. Don't leave it for the next guy. Anyhow, that's my rant for this one, and we can keep moving forward. All right, 2 walls are done. 1 big wall left to do. Alright, so taking this dry pack base and curb out. I'm just going to use a sledgehammer. It's probably the easiest way to go. We'll soon find out. This is what they call a dry pack shower pan. Usually it consists of a wood curb, a rubber liner, followed by a mix of Portland cement, sand, and water that's then formed, troweled, and sloped toward the drain. This was all they used to use back in the day, and a lot of tile setters still prefer to use them today. However, there are now many other options for custom shower pans that claim to be superior, so it's worth doing some research if you're installing another shower. Here you can see the pressure treated wood curb under the liner. Removing the base is probably the most frustrating part for me, but who knows, you might love it. Just saying. A sledgehammer and a pry bar will be the best tools to help you remove the base. And just remember, have fun. You're saving money. The rubber liner is usually just nailed to the studs of the wall, so you can peel that right off by pulling on it. As I lift up the liner, you can now see the lower concrete base that has to be removed as well. I'm using my small Makita jackhammer just to break this up. It's pretty easy to get up, and it comes up in larger pieces. So one of the concerns we had coming into this
project was the custom shower that was in here. It's about 36 inches wide. Our new tub is only just over 30. So my concern was we have a concrete floor that is stained as a finished floor in the house, and we weren't sure that the floor extended the finish under the shower, which it did. So now we should be able to just clean up these old lines from the shower. The tub will sit here and we won't have to work any magic in this area because the floor was poured and finished before the shower was installed. So big bonus on that one. Well, that was a tough couple of days. Okay, so the purpose of this video was not to scare you off from saving money and doing some of the work yourself. It was simply to show you that there can and usually is a ton of unforeseens in any renovation you take on. Now granted, they're not all going to be this difficult, but hopefully just by knowing that these possibilities exist can help you make the right decision before you take on any pre-construction prep work. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you like DIY content like this, you want to pick up some tips and tricks along the way, hope you'll hit the subscribe button, follow along. It's getting dark. I'm gonna go unload the rest of my truck and take a break. So hopefully we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.